Okay, so what I'd like to do now is to show you the most exciting part about maybe web mapping is getting your site online and live. Fortunately, here at JMU, which is where I'm recording this for, we have our own Maps web server, GIS web server. So what we're going to do in this class and what I'm going to show you is how to put your websites onto the server. And anybody in the world can access your websites, so that doesn't really matter. The server seems fairly speedy and not necessarily slow. It does crash sometimes, so sometimes your sites might not be available, but most importantly, it is free. So let's look at how to do this. First things first, if you get stuck on the Canvas website here, I've posted the directions for uploading your website, and it basically goes to a really awesome PDF that Chrissy made showing you how to do it for the geography server. So if you get lost, you can also go to maps.cise.jmu.edu to look at this. Now, every computer in the lab has an FTP client on it, which is just a small program that allows you to connect to servers using FTP, connection protocol, and file transfer protocol, actually. And I believe the one on the lab computers is WinSCP. You might have FileZilla installed. On my Mac here, I have FileZilla installed. You can download, most of these are free. You can download them on your home computer as well. FileZilla is open source and it's available on Linux, Macs, PCs. That's why I use it, just because for familiarity. Alright, so I'm going to open FileZilla. You might need to, in the lab, open a different program. WinSCP, for example, I think is Chrissy's favorite. Everyone uses different ones. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. What you will get, regardless, is something that looks like this. On the left-hand side, you're going to have basically a map of your computer. So all the folders and files in your computer are here. And on the right-hand side, which is empty right now because we're not connected, once you log into a server, you'll see the folders and files on that server. And really, uploading a website is as simple as dragging documents or folder contents from your computer, the ones you've edited and worked on, to the server. And then that magic moment, the one that's called index.html, when someone types in a folder address on a server, it loads that web page and it connects to everything else. So first things first, let's shrink this down so I can see what I'm doing. Basically, your website is available on the R drive. So if you're in the lab, you should be able to connect to the R drive and basically click and drag folders to the R drive and maybe even skip the FTP client altogether. However, it's good to get used to FTP clients like FileZilla, because if you're working from home or for a company or anywhere else, you'll probably most likely have to use this to get files up and down. Now, everything you need is right here. In WinSCP, when you set up a new account, you'll get a window that looks like this, create a new connection. In FileZilla, we're going to go File, Site Manager, New Site. All right, so then here we'll just copy and paste the host name, etc. So maps.site, I don't know how they say it, I work here, that's crazy. Port 21, protocol, FTP, not SFTP. So notice here I have two options, FTP or SFTP. If you read the directions, we're just going to leave it like that. And log on, we're going to say normal. User, this is just your JMU, or I guess you guys call it Duke's user account. One thing I need to note is every time you update your password for JMU, you're going to need to go in and retype your new password because it uses that. All right, that should be it. If it doesn't work, it's because of the security, which you won't have that problem if you use the program she uses. Success. Once you're here, this is important. You don't go to web, which would make intuitive sense. You double click on classes. You double click on IGS, which is basically the server itself. You double click there on web again. Actually, for the first time, good lord. Then you double click on 468, and once you're in the 468 folder, go nuts. I'm kidding. First of all, don't ever mess with anyone else's folders, so be careful here, okay? Because the class is shared, we can all edit and change things, and also all of this is tracked, who's logged in doing what, so don't go around, destroying other people's property. And if you do accidentally do something or you're worried about it, let someone know. Don't just leave it hanging. But you can create your own folders here. So if you right-click in FileZilla, it's probably similar in the other program on the lab computers, or if you just go in the R drive and create a new folder. We're going to create a new directory, and I'm going to call this test upload. Not just test. Why get so complex? We're going to hit OK. I'm going to double-click into this folder. And what I'm going to do then is I'm actually just going to use my file organizer in the computer here. You go to your website folder. This one's called Sandbox. You select everything. You right-click and you hit copy. Or you can click and drag. And I guess you have to click and drag in this program. You click and drag them, you drop them off. They stay on your computer, but what it's going to do is try to upload these to the server. The server is a little finicky. It doesn't work all the time right away. It just started working. You'll see them. And again, the left side are files on my computer. The right side, you could also drag from here if you wanted. The right side are files on the server. We now have a website on the server. It was that easy. It was just clicking and dragging files. Index is our home page. So when someone visits the test folder on our web server, they will see whatever index.html is. And this is why I kept telling you to call your home page index.html. This is just standard for the entire internet. If you don't call it that, I'll show you what happens. So next step here, your website will be available to anyone in the world who wants to visit it, or if you want to share it, at the following address. Well, mine will be at this address. Test. So there it is. That's my index page. Nothing much. Kind of just playing around with some stuff, loading and hiding data, zooming in on Africa, clicking on things. But this is what we'll be doing later this semester, and it better look more beautiful than this. This is just a test dummy page. But this is a website, and this is how it works.